Hey, beautiful people. It's that 70s baby, your girl Primrose here on the podcast, Primrose Ave. Absent my co host, that baby straight out of 96, Miss Michelle Gracie, unfortunately cannot be here with us today as we record this segment in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. However, I am elated to have a guest, our actual first guest to the show, Miss Janyetta Webb, who is a Reiki healer and sound therapist. I'm gonna give Miss Webb a great big round of applause, and then I want you to say hello to the people, Miss Webb.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Happy to be here today.
Oh, I am so excited that you're here. Miss Janyetta, or Lady J as I call her, like in my mind when I'm talking to her, it's always Lady J, is the founder and the owner of J Spa and Wellness Center. And she's also a senior cosmetologist specializing in advanced aesthetics. And I'm just super, 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 super. Y'all don't know, because y'all don't know what y'all about to get in a minute or two here. So excited to have you on the show. And just to kind of get right down to the bones of it, Lady J, what is Reiki healing and sound therapy?
Reiki healing is a life force. Once you're attuned, everybody has the gift of healing. But what Reiki does is the life force that's within us that helps heal ourselves. You can heal physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually through Reiki. So because of my attunement, I'm able to heal and use Reiki on someone else.
Wow.
With their life force. I'm not healing them. Anybody who says that they're healing someone, that's not true. We're healing each other, because even though I'm with you during the time of the Reiki session, my life force, your life force, it's like giving it a spark. Ooh. To jumpstart it. And it helps heal. And throughout the process, with the hands-on to going over the body, I don't even ask my client why they're here. Right. Because I like the natural force. My hands is going to stop where it needs. Reiki go where it needs to go.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So when you come, I ask your name, just general questions and everything like that. But just to get the healing, you may need a healing in an area that you don't even know have stagnant energy in your body. Mm-hmm. Just the Reiki force would move that energy out.
That's amazing. And the most amazing thing I feel, for me about it is that capability to self-heal. Like there's so many people that as soon as they develop a sign or a symptom, and again, nothing wrong with medical doctors because they are necessary, obviously.
Absolutely.
However, everything doesn't require that that's going on within you. A lot of what we need is just to be in tune with our own body. And from what you explained, that's what the practice of Reiki is, being in tune, and, getting in tune with something that might, you feel like you might need to see a foot doctor when all you need is to go to some Reiki, It's Reiki.
Yeah. And then
forgive my ignorance because I might mispronounce it or say it,
No, you're pronouncing it right, Reiki. Yeah. And the thing of it is that we all have that gift. Mm-hmm. It's given to us. It's our birthright. Mm-hmm. And it's like a lot of things that we have forgotten that we be waking up through spirituality, or maybe through the path that you've taken that leads you here. You never know. Right. Because I didn't know about Reiki growing up.
Right.
I didn't know about it at all.
And when I visited you for my detox foot bath, was something that I was familiar with. I'd heard the term Reiki. I just never bothered to ask what it meant. I was for lack of another word, I was just not interested. Okay, I hear it.
Yeah.
So when we encountered each other, and you told me, I was like, because I just thought I was just coming to get me a detox foot bath, and who knew I was coming into a gold mine of healing, health, and wellness when I stepped into your office, into your spa for a detox foot bath, which is also a lot of people, when they see stuff like that, especially women of color, especially women of low economic status. And I say low economic status, not that you are not intelligent, not that you don't have the capability. It's just your financial situation does allow for exploration, where some of us are almost afraid to explore.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
so, when you told me that, it got me so interested. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I have someone right here in a space that I felt safe in to inquire about what this thing called Reiki, what is this thing, Reiki healing? And I was so appreciative of your insight. And I was like, wow, people like me need to know about this. And people like you, Janyetta, who, can offer this service. And again, you have a spa, so this is not a free service. This is definitely something, and this is an investment. So I like to introduce people to things that are investments for their mind, body, spirit. Because if you can have all the money in the world, but if the mind and the body isn't right, you're broke.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the belief.
Yeah.
I appreciate the what word am I looking for? Not the practice of Reiki.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a practice.
Yeah.
It's definitely a practice. And I was doing Reiki on myself for years. Never opened it up to anybody, for the first 2 years. And I was like, well, maybe I can bring this into my practice. Why not?
Right.
Share this part of me. Don't be ashamed of it, be who you are. And my brother would tell me that. He was like, no, tell them who you are.
Right.
And just be who you are. He said, and everything will follow. He was like, don't worry about that.
Right.
He was like, because somebody else needs the same thing that when you needed it, and you reached out and you learned about this and you did that. So I practiced on myself, trying to heal myself from the death of my mom.
Oh wow.
And that's what led me to
Reiki. And actually that was going to be my next question. Like, what motivated you? What put you on this path of becoming, even exploring, not even becoming, because you didn't probably even know that you were becoming this.
I did.
But to put you on a path to seek out something so, in my world, really doesn't exist, to seek out something like that, and then actually not just have a curiosity, but put it into practice. And so that was my next question.
Yeah, it was the loss of my mother. And I said, I want to know where she is. Where is she? How can I communicate with her? My pain, it was like my heart was broken. And it's like I felt lonely. And being lonely, what do I do with this time and space that I was calling her, trying to figure out what's my next move with my kids? Mommy, look, this has happened. This has happened. This has happened. That's when I had to get into my spirituality. I had to unchurch.
Okay.
Because it was like everything that I thought I knew, I didn't know. And I was like, oh, that's not true. That's not helping me. That's not helping me. So at this point, it was like, you know what? Let me just get centered, meditate about this. And just one day on YouTube, surfing, and saw this meditation. And I said, oh, let me check this out. Right. Let me look into this. And it was just one thing. It says when the student shows up, the teacher appears.
Okay.
And I did a whole studying with Iyanla Van and did that. And then she would mention certain things, these shipments, and I said, well, let me look that up. Let me look this up.
Right.
And then with the sound therapy, oh,
Which we're gonna get to. We gonna get round to that.
That was like, okay, let me see about this, because I could feel with the music. I could do that. And I was like, okay. And I noticed that with the Reiki, me being still and learning and studying it, and once I was attuned, I was like, this is real. I'm like, this,
Yeah,
even looking like, wow,
yeah,
it's been here all the time
yeah, yeah.
in my heart.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's in your heart space.
Right.
You know, a lot of people don't know that the heart has a brain of its own
Wow.
that has its connection
Mm.
outside. So you not only have one brain, you have two. You have a brain in your heart.
Wow.
This is science.
Wow.
You know, and then just learning things like that. And I'm like, wow. And I would say, well, what do they mean by get into your heart space? Get into your heart space. What the heck is that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, well, let me try.
Yeah.
And the breathing exercises, learning how to breathe.
Yes.
That was new for me.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, I feel like I'm about to pass out.
Oh, right.
And then that's when it all was coming together. I was learning how to breathe, doing the breathing exercises, and learning how to get in that heart space of being in the moment. It's so easier said, and you hear people say, I'm in the present, I'm this.
Right.
I didn't know how to do that.
I am one of those people. And that's where I believe like the anxiety comes from in a lot of people. And I know for me, because a lot of times I used to suffer with these bad anxiety attacks. And I became to what I noticed one day was that when these attacks would be coming on, it was because I was thinking way far in the past, or I was thinking way ahead in the future. And I would have these panic attacks because I didn't know what to do with this. It was always something dreadful. You know, it was like I would go so far back, and these memories are of abuse and neglect and abandonment and all these things that were traumatic in my life. And I would center my thoughts on that one thought, and my heart would get to racing, and I would be looking for help, not knowing where to find it. So I would become overwhelmed, and I would go into these panic attacks, or I would be thinking a million years from now, like, well, what is going to be happening a million years from now? And next thing you know, I'm running through the house screaming and hollering because I'm worrying about what's going to be happening in a million.
And ain't nothing happened. Ain't nothing happened. Not realizing that what we think, we have to be careful what we think. And just changing your mind can set you free.
Absolutely. I'm a testament to that.
And I didn't realize how easy it is, yet so hard it was, because of guilt, hurt, shame brings so much sickness on. And the anxiety can get so real where you think you having a doggone heart attack.
Yeah.
It can get that real for some people. I know it did for me at one point.
Yeah.
And when I sat in the moment of understanding how to sit in my heart space and knowing how the gift of Reiki helped save me and change my health and change my thing, I had to first change my mind and be like, you know what? It's got to be another way.
Yeah.
And it has to be a better way.
And it has to be a better way. Because that, for me, my life changed. And I tell people frequently now, I am on a mission, because it remains a mission to change my mind, to practice how to in the moment, as opposed to sitting here dwelling on things that I cannot change, or things that I don't even know if they're going to happen or not. I can change. You can't help what just pops in your head, right?
I know, but you know what though? You can kick them out though. You can kick them out.
Out of it. And I learned that. I did not learn that until about 2-3 years ago. And that set me on the path, really set me on the path. And again, I am not saying this like it's the easiest thing in the world to do. It is not. And I heard a wise woman say before, In order to become practiced, you must practice. And so therefore, I had to practice. And when thoughts will pop in my head, those old debilitating thoughts, I would have to shift, like, wait a minute, okay, I know what you're about. You got to go. And it is not the easiest, it's the easiest and the hardest thing to do at the same time.
It is.
It has to become a practice, because if you do not practice, you are never going to manage fruitful, positive, and consistent.
Absolutely.
It's just not going to happen. I'm here to tell you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I had to do. I had to kick those negative thoughts out, and knowing how to I looked at it at how you know how you redirect a kid.
Yeah.
Redirect it. I have to do it with my own mind.
Elementary, my dear Watson. They take it back to elementary school on it.
Yep. I had to redirect. Like, no. Yep. You're not welcome there.
Right.
Nope. Not welcome.
Yep.
Not welcome. And then it got to a point where I said, I am a really negative person. Like, damn, how much it's like, no, those not my thoughts.
Right.
Grab onto them.
Right.
But I don't have to accept them.
Exactly.
And then I was like, okay, so I still, once again, have that power to change my mind, kick it out, start over again. Because moment by moment, I have a second chance. I have another moment. And it's not easy.
Yeah,
it's not.
I'm a testament to that.
It's not. It's not easy. And today, with the first person I want to share my information with is my mom. Now I know she sees me, you know, and it's okay that she's not here. I know she's better. Right. And it's like now with the Reiki is I have to be truthful to myself, because when you're in a path of healing and then you're in a path of practicing, it's like it's harder to lie to yourself. Right. It gets harder to lie to yourself. Right. Because then you get stagnant. You're stuck. Right. And you can't go nowhere until right here.
Yeah. You know what? And I want to go back to what you just said, because I can remember us having this conversation. I can remember I was like, wait a minute. I was like, because I asked you, I was like, explain that to me more when you said that you know that you could see your mom, because that piqued my interest in the sense that, because if anybody knows me, knows what I believe about, you know, when someone's dead, they're gone. They're no longer here. We have no access to them. They have no access to us. That's my belief. But I have a brother who I would just love to communicate with. And so again, this is still something that I have a hard time wrapping my head around because of
sitting in the silence.
Because of
my sit in the silence.
Yeah, and that is what, you know, that is why I'm so interested, because I am at a place where I want to believe it. I don't believe it yet, but I'm not dismissing it because it's something that I desire within my heart, you know. So I am a skeptic of that portion of it, as far as the communication with someone who deceased, because I don't, you know, I believe that when you did, you did. You know what I mean?
See, and that's the thing. The thing of it is I can feel her. Explain. But I only can feel her when I'm still and I'm obedient. Okay. When I'm still and I'm at one. Okay. Because a lot of us don't realize that we're all one. But it's moments of the day and times in my life where my ego is me, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, thinking of control. But when I set that on that shelf of non-existence and be at one, I can feel her. Right. And I have to make sure that any guilt, hurt, or shame is not attached to that. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes I be wanting to get there, but I can't. That's because of some stuff that I'm done or I'm said. Okay. And took me away from that sacred space. But when I get in that sacred space, you're able to reach that level of consciousness.
Got you. Okay. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And because I was like, well, why did I did it last month? What's going on this month? What's going on? Because the same way just
Right. Right. The sound. You're coming in and out.
I'm coming in and out.
Yes.
Can you hear me now better?
Yes.
Okay. I said, is it me? Is it what is really going on? Or am I making this up in my head, or is this really it?
Right.
And when I'm in a sacred space,
Okay.
when I am at one, at that 0 point, I am there.
Okay.
And that's when I feel her.
Okay.
In the silence.
Okay. Okay.
And sometimes it's hard to be in a silence when you're may have some emotional struggles with. And at this point, when I couldn't connect with my mom, me and my daughter, my oldest daughter, we were arguing. But because that right there, that was the problem. So I had to get that together first in order for me to get to the Christ consciousness, in order for me to be at one, in order for me to be in silence and sit and feel.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That and it is, and again, I am intrigued by it. I am one who I can remember a time when I was very uncomfortable sitting in silence, and the thought of meditation just put me to sleep because and I don't know why. I don't know if it was fear. I don't know I don't know what it was, but I know that was ultimately always the result of me attempting to meditate. So I just wouldn't meditate because I could never get into a space of sheer meditation. It was like, okay, I'm going to sleep. I'm waking up like this is what I tried to do. And a few years ago, when I had that weekend, that Good Love Get Loved Up retreat, and you said something very, very important earlier, which is not even breathing properly. Because I didn't even realize until I was on that retreat that I was not breathing properly. My breathing was malfunctioning. And malfunction, if you can't breathe properly, you will never be able to meditate properly. So
Right.
that's what I believe. I'm not, that's my opinion. I like to put that out there. That's my opinion. If you can't breathe properly, then proper meditation will never be a practice because you're not even breathing right. Maybe that's why I was going to sleep because I wasn't breathing. I wasn't getting oxygen in my brain, so I was what was going on, what have you.
Yeah.
And so it of course it's going to be challenging. So I just dismiss it. Oh, I can't do that. Just dismissing something that and the funny thing is I'm just now realizing that's what it was in this moment, having this conversation with you about this, because I have not revisited meditation in some years. And even though I had that beautiful experience that weekend of the Good Love Up retreat with Koya Webb, that weekend I think it was in 2021, I think it was, I didn't even equate my malfunction in breathing to why I couldn't meditate until just now. So I got to hit that thing back up again, because now I know that, and a lot of us, even right now, for whatever reason, I am holding my breath while I'm talking to you, as opposed to taking in good, deep, clean breaths. So quite naturally, we're going to be malfunctioning, and a lot of us don't even realize that we are not even, we think because we're talking, we're eating, we're sleeping, we're waking up, we're moving around. We don't even realize that we spend a great deal of the day holding our breath. And for what?
Don't know.
Anxiety.
For the rush.
I think we're anxious. I believe we're anxious. So it causes us, we're waiting for something to happen. We're always waiting, or we're waiting to do. And in the meantime, we're holding our breath.
Yeah.
But a lot of us are out here just malfunctioning from something as not properly breathing. And excuse me, my desire is to really reach women who have never even considered things like Reiki healing and sound therapy. And the podcast, as you know, is not about social economic status. This is just about wanting to give this information to women, no matter what your financial status is, because even though you might not be financially stable now to go to a spa, you can hear, hey, look, you need to breathe. Stop holding your breath. Take a deep breath in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that might be something that can get you through to the next positive thought that might catapult you into a place where you
Absolutely.
can be
Yeah.
stable
Yeah.
enough to go, able, not stable, but able enough to go to a spa and experience someone to assist you with learning how to breathe, because I needed assistance and didn't even know that.
Yeah. I didn't
So,
either. I
yeah,
didn't either.
that's amazing.
And when I was taught breathe through your nose and your stomach should rise when you breathe, and I said, well, how am I supposed to do that? You know, and it was like a whole class of learning how to breathe. We was like an hour and 20. They was like, no, you knew how, you forgot.
Right, you forgot. Yeah. Because you
You
start holding
forgot.
at some point, once maybe it was when you got yelled at as a child, or maybe
Child,
when
no.
anything, you just stop. And then that became a natural reaction to little things that were happening around us, and everything became traumatic, because
Yeah.
anything that's causing you to just hold your breath has got to be, you know. And
Yeah.
so it's like just learning that I was at, and here's a true story. I have still not mastered breathing, because I am, again, you have to become
It's
practice.
a practice.
It is a practice. You have to be conscious. Wait a minute, hold up, I'm not breathing. And so a lot of times when we're not, you'll hear people say, oh, I'm not thinking clearly, but they don't address why they're not thinking clearly. If you're not breathing, how can you think properly? How can you know? So I'm not there yet. So I don't want to mislead anyone. However, I am aware that this is something that I need to put into practice so that I can function better and function, because I tell people I want to be the best version of myself. I know I have not arrived there yet, not even close, but I'm well on my way.
That's right.
I'm well
Yeah.
on my way. So,
Yeah.
although Reiki healing may seem out of touch, what would you offer to someone as like a nugget on Reiki healing, as a nugget that they can do themselves right now to start themselves on a path to Reiki, something that they can afford to do, because all we got is time.
Oh, right.
All we
One
got is
thing that
time.
you can afford to do, and that's where sound therapy comes in at. They have apps now, free apps that you can download with sound. Just listening to the rain, and breathing in and out your nose. Breathe in your nose and out your mouth. And when you breathe in your nose, your stomach should rise out. And when you breathe out, your stomach should go back in. So just a matter of just placing your hand on your belly and breathing deep within through your nose and then out your mouth. Just doing that 5 times.
Wow.
That's free.
Free. Yeah. And nobody has to say, hey,
Nobody has to say nothing. And just know that things like that helps dramatically when you're thinking of the mind slowing down. Just breathe in and breathe out. They have, people have all different types of music streams, and like Pandora, you can just put on Reiki music, just say, or what's her name? Amazon, like
Alexa, yeah.
Play just, some healing music.
Right. As opposed to because see, a lot of us think that listening to Marvin Gaye is healing. It might not. It could actually be very depressing depending on where and who you are in your life. You said
Right.
you at home
Right.
people listen to Let's Get It On. And that could cause some emotional feelings that, like, well, wait a minute, I'm all by myself. Who am I going to get on with? So just because it's nice and easy, it's easy listening does not mean that it's therapeutic.
Exactly. Because when you're thinking about with the Reiki, you're thinking about the connection with the universal energy. Right. That energy you already have in your body. Okay. Just thinking about, when you're thinking about a universal connection, what are you thinking about? The breath, the air. You know what I mean? Just breathing and just Give yourself a moment, just a moment to breathe. And I know what it's like. I have 3 daughters, spaced all out, different stages of their life, but I'm still a person too. So sometimes I need to take a breather. And by doing that, breathe in my nose, close my eyes. Sometimes just one.
Just one, yeah. Because when you were
Sometimes
speaking
just
earlier, I did it like 5 times, and it actually brought on almost a sense of like euphoria. If I
because it can build up your endorphins.
And guess what? A lot of people now, but the old Primrose would not have really liked that feeling. Why? Because it's so unfamiliar. You know what I mean? So you ever wonder why some people are just so happy? If you're breathing correctly, that's got to be happiness for your spirit, your soul, and your body. So I started feeling that feeling of euphoria, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to feel like that, because it was a whole discussion.
Yes.
And when
That's
we
called
were
bliss.
the breathing techniques, they would the facilitator was describing what you might feel, because and actually it was like I started getting tingling inside my head, and I took that as something to be negative, but that's what's supposed to happen.
That's what's supposed to happen. That's what you call bliss.
Yes, your body's like, your brain is like, yes, you're giving me air. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, if all y'all mommies out there holding your tummies in, stop. Because that requires you to hold your breath to a degree when you're holding in your tummy. I did it when I was a teenager because I felt like I had to have this flat stomach, and my stomach was flat. But I would yet and still, to get it flatter, I would hold my tummy in, and I walk around. You know, nobody knew I wasn't breathing as long as I was alive.
Right.
Who knew? You know,
right.
And so I got that developed a habit for me.
Yes.
Holding my breath. Now, apart from the traumas that I experienced in my life, it was okay. Now you got to be perfect with your flat stomach. You know, so hold your stomach in. So for all my mommies holding in your stomach, let that thing out and breathe. Breathe so that you can feel this bliss. Breathe so that your more creative self. Breathe so that you can get into that heart space that Janyetta was talking about earlier, because it's essential for us to function in a way that is helpful to ourselves and the world around us. That's what I
believe. And it makes it easier. What also taught me the easiest way for me to stay present is when I'm breathing properly.
Okay.
Because I was like, what you mean be present? I am being present. No, I wasn't being present. I wasn't. But when I was concentrating on my breath, learning how to meditate, because I tell you, 1 minute was an accomplishment for me.
Right, because that's when a minute can be a very long time when you're doing something that, number one, you don't want to do because you don't even know the benefits of it yet, because you heard somebody say it. But if you thought like I used to think, healing ain't for me. So why would, breathing properly, because breathing properly is a part of healing and my actual power and my health, Yep. So I was a firm believer, that's not for me. It is for me. And I am thankful that I have the ability and the power to change my mind, because now I know, and I not only do I believe it, I receive it. And little by little, I am putting into practice those things that are actually helpful and healthy for me by utilizing my power, something as simple as breathing. Yeah,
because it's that inner joy and that peace that comes with the breath. A lot of people don't understand that the breath, that is life. Yes. That is life.
Yes.
You come in with breath, you leave with breath. That's it. Yes. And you don't understand how precious it is to give gratitude to that thing.
Yeah.
And it brings you a peace of mind. A lot of times, you could be going through so much. A lot of people out here financially are struggling, and the thing of it is, just breathe.
Just breathe, yeah. Because you have life.
Give yourself a little piece of heaven. Yeah. With breathing properly. Breathe through your nose and out your mouth. Breathe that thing like.
Yes.
If you have to just do that. Or just take it slow out. You're going to get a different vibration every single time. Different ways of breathing. When you breathe in your nose, hold it for 4 seconds. Breathe out for 4 seconds. It's an ease that you get with that.
It's calming. It's relaxing.
It is.
Healing. You are giving your body what you need. And I'm not even going to say I'm ashamed to say that I've known this breathing technique for years and haven't been consistently practicing. So I'm not ashamed. I'm giving myself grace because, again, I didn't learn how to be anxious overnight. You know, so I am so thankful that at least I am conscious of this is something that I can, to work through problems. It used to be, I used to did not understand. As a matter of fact, I felt discarded if I asked somebody a question and they said, give me a moment. I wanted them to come back with the answer right just then.
Yeah.
And if you, now that I think back and look back, they were brilliant. They were smart to take a good.
Yep.
And out. And they even took it was a pause. In my mind, it was a pause. It wasn't them exercising their right to breathe properly.
Exactly.
It was them discarding me and putting me off. And now looking back, how smart they are to say, because guess what? The end result is you're going to get a more appropriate answer to the question.
Absolutely.
And so now it's like when somebody says, give me a moment, as opposed to coming right off the rip, I got a smile on my face now because I'm like, okay, and I can appreciate the fact that because now, as opposed to feeling discarded, I feel like this person is taking time for me.
Yes.
Taking time for their self to think about.
And just the thing is that you had to see, and like you said, change it because you had to change your mind and change your thinking. You didn't. I didn't think that back then. Right. Now that's what I thought. But back then I was like, oh, you had to pause on me.
Right.
Defensive. Already.
Right.
Ridiculous. Right. But now it's like, wow.
Thank you. Because now it's like, you're answering me because you're taking the time for an answer. Because see, a quick comeback is usually a brush off. Now that I know better.
Yeah.
And so I am so thankful to know better that when a person says, give me a moment, and I see them take that deep breath in, and then after that breath out, they're not, that's them taking time for themselves. And when we honor ourselves, and that's something I had to learn. And I tell people that often, be kind to yourself first. Because if you can't be kind to yourself first, how can you be kind to others? That's a shout. That's a put on.
Yeah.
That's when you're being dismissed. When someone can't even be kind to themselves, they don't have the capacity to be kind to you authentically. They might even think that they are. People pleasers, those kind of, they don't, oh, wait a minute, I gotta get an answer right away. No, so just that, that nugget of just take that 4 seconds of breath through your nostrils and out your mouth and feel it in your core, your abdomen, your stomach, feel that filling up and then that release, and then your brain is dancing. That's where you get those tinglies from, so that you can, as opposed to react, respond.
Right.
Again, I don't want anybody to think this is some magic trick and that it's going to happen where you're going to do it right every time and that you're even going to practice it every time. Because sometimes now I do come back real quick and I don't give myself that moment to think. And a lot of times that's when I'm not practicing patience.
Yeah.
I just want the person away from me. So I want to hurt and give them a quick answer so they can go get about their business. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sitting here saying I practice it 100% of the time. I don't. I am practicing so that eventually this practice will make me practiced, so that each time, the majority of the time, I can respond versus react. And in turn, be kind to myself and somebody else in that moment. you know.
Yeah, and that's just a part of being mindful.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times
Mhm.
especially with the day-to-day technology stuff bopping out at you every 5 seconds, and
Yes.
ads and music and things, and you know, we don't practice that. We just in a right now world, you know, I want it and I want it now, and I
Instant.
don't want to work for this. Yeah, instant gratification. We don't want to work for our healing. We don't want to work for our help. We don't want to even work our own power so that we can become powerful, because power is just that, power.
Yeah.
Unless it's used in
Yeah.
some way that's beneficial to you and or others. So if we get in tune with our power, and something as simple as breathing properly, managing what I call, refer to as thought management, those thoughts that pop in that are not kind, that are not
Mhm.
you know, productive or fruitful. Because fruitful, I use that. I'm just going to wrap it up and sum it up in one word. If it does not have fruitability,
Yeah.
I'm going to dismiss it.
I love that.
Yeah,
I like that.
that is my I'm gonna trademark fruitability, baby, because I believe
I
that
love
sums it
it.
all up. If it's not
Mhm.
fruitable,
Yeah.
let it go. Let that. And again, please understand, it is easier said than done, especially if you are in habit or practiced at reacting versus responding, at
Right.
taking on the
Mhm.
negativity as
Yeah.
opposed to sorting it out and putting
Yeah.
it. Don't even put that in your recycle bin. Permanently delete that. If you can, you
Right.
know, forever.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
to women of color, I
Mm.
know that this can, or I believe that Reiki healing probably seems so, and you are a woman of color who is practiced, official, has J spot, you know, who is healed herself and
Yes.
is practicing healing others. You can speak to our demographic. And I
Yeah, because
love,
as far as like with the healing part, let me tell you this. I think I shared it with you that I had 3 strokes. I was in the nursing home.
you
I
did.
had my first stroke. I was 31.
Mm, yeah.
It was a lot on my husband because having to learn to talk, walk all over again was a lot.
Mhm.
And when I say I have healed myself,
Mm.
I have healed
You
myself.
look healed to me, honey. You behave healed. Your continence is well. You know, you bring positive
And I'm
energy. You're
gonna tell
beautiful.
people it ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Easy, right? But you got to be willing to tap into that power that you have, because
Exactly.
a lot of us, especially when we have that woe is me
Mhm.
demeanor about ourselves,
Mhm.
we are expecting a miracle. We want somebody to come and tell us what to do and do it for us and hold our hand through the whole process. And then
Uh,
we have
that
got,
don't happen.
it doesn't happen. I'm
When it
telling you,
comes to self-healing,
yeah. It,
you have to do
keyword,
the work,
keyword, self.
that practice.
Yes, yes,
And like you said, it's easier said than done.
yes,
And
yes.
and a lot of times you miss more than you hit,
Yeah, yeah.
even when you're practicing.
That's
That's why
right.
you have to continue to practice.
That's right.
That's
That's
why you have to continue. Still press your way.
yes.
Just press your way. Press your way. Sometimes I be wondering, my husband's like, well, where are you going? What you mean? Where you going? Kid,
Right,
that man went through trauma,
right.
thinking that he could lost his wife.
Life, yeah, yeah. So yes, he's concerned. So, and he has a right, because
Yeah, he has
he
a right.
didn't just come today. He's no Joe Schmo. This is the man who saw his wife. So out of concern, I would be concerned if he wasn't concerned.
Yeah,
You know? So,
yeah,
you know, and you are very fortunate to have someone who was there with you during this journey, and
yes.
and saw that, because a lot of us have, you know, we are with people and we are not concerned about their well-being. We are worried about what they can do for us, and if they're not doing what, and look, I was one of those people.
Yeah.
I was one of those people, because at the end of the day, I was so concerned with people proving that they love me at times, and
Mm.
I was not concerned truly about, and I didn't even realize it. I was just more concerned with, do this person, okay, they said they love me, now they got to prove it. You know, I was so concerned with that as opposed to me really giving, because in truth, if I'm being honest, and I have no other choice but to,
Yeah.
because the only thing that I owe the world is my truth, right? I owe
Right.
it to myself. I didn't really know what support looked like.
Yeah.
I had experienced so much abuse, neglect, and abandonment that, and I had chased love and acceptance. That's what I knew, how to chase love and acceptance. And I really never even knew what it looked like. That's why I was so indecisive when it came to people in my life. And it seemed like I would always sell in on the wrong one, or I'm not the wrong one, the ones who were non-beneficial, in the sense that I could learn the type of love that was acceptable to me. I don't want to dismiss anything from anybody.
That's powerful.
So I had to sit back and say, wait a minute. I struggle with it even now.
Yeah.
To really be open to the idea that, number one, the person really loves and accepts me, and look for so now I'm at a place where I can see in people, okay, that's love to me. I can accept that. So I'm thankful. And it's not to say that it's always easy, because sometimes I'm still skeptical. I have to sit back and be like, wait a minute. Why is this person around me?
Yeah.
Why are they called? Because I'll see the phone ring, I'm like, well, why are they calling me? You
Right.
know? And then when they call, how are you doing? Is that what they really want to know? As opposed to accepting that, yes, they're really just, because that's not happened a lot in my life. So when someone checks in on me, I become suspicious, And so as I am in this process of practicing my power for my healing and my health, I am becoming more in tune. I have recognized things that behaviors in others that I consider love to me and fruitful to me. And I also now know how to give it. I am learning how to be supportive. I really did not know that before. So I can't say, please forgive me, because I don't know who I didn't get. I just know that I am getting to that place in my life where I can recognize the love that I see as acceptable and give it in return. And I'm mature enough, if somebody comes to me and says, that was extremely offensive to me, what you said or how you behaved the other day. To respond in love, apologize. That was not my intention. And you have a right to check me on that, because I want you in my life. So if I'm doing something that causes you to feel unloved and unappreciated and unwanted, I don't want to do that, because in my ignorance, I could be very well doing that. So I am mature enough to accept that I'm not these naive. I know, that I've had some fucked up experiences that has skewed my ability to be what I wanted to receive. So somebody said, be the change that you want to see. And I'm still navigating that. I'm still figuring that out, how to, love on someone and not make it because we have a problem in this world, a lot of us, what we get in return. And you should get something in return. So please, that selfishness is needed. It's necessary. Sometimes you got to be selfish. Like you said earlier, you got to take that time for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you will be drained. Because I became an empty cup, because I became this rat race of pouring into others.
Yes.
What I wanted to see, and I wasn't getting the same in return. And see, my fault was pouring into those who weren't pouring anything but bitterness and unuseful or unproductive or non-fruitable stuff into my cup. My issue was, I thought if I stayed around enough and poured them in, no, now you have a limited time to pour bitterness into me, because I will respond in love. And if each time that's how you come, I have to depart. Because
believe people when they show you who they are, believe them.
Exactly. I had a girlfriend. She has not called me, I think, but maybe once. this young lady, we befriended each other some years back. I was not in the roughest, I was in a little rough spot. I was homeless. I had somewhere to stay, but I was homeless because nothing had my name on it. And we were neighbors, and we would hang out on the steps, and we would talk. And over the years, we would come back around each other from time to time. But I can remember just one day thinking, like, it seemed like every time she called me, it's just to dump on me. And so one day she called, and I was ready for it too. And she was like, she would always start, well, how you doing? And as soon as I say I'm good, she would just take off like a rock and then hang up. Oh, I got to take this other call. I'm going to call you back, and never would. So that last call came in, and she did her same MO. She called and she said, how are you? And I said, fine. Well, girl, and you know what I told her right off the break? I said, you know what? Life is good. I said, so in spite of everything, I have no reason to complain. And that's just where I'm at. I'm going to have to call you back. Time to dump on me. Because what happens is, me trying to be there for people, that's what I was carrying around. And I had all this shit sitting inside of me. I needed healing. I needed help. And there was very few and far between.
Yeah.
So I stopped being a dumping place. So if you can't call me just to see how I'm really doing, I can't. I will not allow. I no longer allow people to dump on me, and I'm okay with that.
Yes.
I am not. I am not a garbage.
And that's what you call healthy boundaries.
Yeah,
that's what you call healthy boundaries.
Absolutely.
Healthy boundaries, and that's what a lot. And I'm gonna tell you something. In the Black community, that's what we do. We call dump, and we allow them. Because we feel so, well, we're a little short. No, it's not right.
It isn't.
It's not right.
Especially when that's the only, because I could see if you called me up and we had good conversations and we ended a conversation with laughter all the time. And sometimes you call, but
not
every single time. And I was like, wait a minute, this is her habit. So guess what? She hasn't called since. I think maybe once, but I think she realized what I was doing. So it was like, I'm not gonna let you dump on me, and so it's like, okay, I ain't calling her no more. Good, don't, because you're not gonna keep taking, because see, in life, it has to, giving is perpetual. You know? It's a give and take. You can't just constantly take, and expect that's not okay. And that can cause a detrimental mental health space. And in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, I want to just keep throwing that out there. Checking on yourselves. Don't allow folks to dump in on you, And so that's why I was so excited when you agreed to come on as a guest. And like I said, I know Michelle would have loved to have been here tonight as we record and have her questions or whatever, but such is life. And I'm just excited because I'm feeling because I got to have you all to myself. And for a few moments, Miss J has agreed to give freely a sound therapy session of up to about, what do you think, about 7 minutes is good?
Yep.
7 minutes. And I just hope that, people will be not only receptive of this the therapeutic value of sound therapy, but also practice it. Because I can tell you, for me, a girl from the hood who was unemployed, who was on a free virtual weekend retreat, found out I wasn't breathing properly, and I benefited from breathing lessons, and I benefited from sound therapy. And because when the lady was like, whoa, I was sitting there like, oh God, I'm about to fall asleep. Negative. About to fall asleep. But see, it was after that good old breathing exercise. So I'm wide awake for real. But in my mind, I'm going to go to sleep. So Miss J has graciously accepted giving us about a 7-minute sound therapy session that I know I'm going to benefit from. And I know that you can, if if you're open to it. So if you could, before you actually start to sound therapy, is there anything that you do specifically to prepare to open your mind and just be present and really activate,
I do.
you
I
know.
do. I do. I ground.
Okay.
And in grounding, I do the breathing techniques first to ground. And the same one that I told you, breathe in my nose, out my mouth. I do it about 10 times. By that time, I'm mellowed out, get into meditation, and then I ground with the sound therapy, whether I'm doing my singing bowls or if I'm using the sound of
Okay.
where it's by Forbidden Knowledge that I listen to. And he has this song, you can download it on iTunes.
Okay.
It's by Forbidden Knowledge, the number 4, Forbidden Knowledge. And
You said forbidden knowledge, right?
Forbidden Knowledge. Yep,
Okay.
the number 4 and then knowledge, that Forbidden Knowledge. Yes.
Forbidden
And I
knowledge.
listen to it, yes, of the sound of God, which is
Okay.
and it is so powerful.
Wow.
And I found out about that gentleman on social media, on YouTube. Very powerful individual.
Wow.
Very I like him so much where he's very informative and open with all different types of modalities of self-healing.
Self-healing, yeah.
Yes. Billy Carson is his name.
Really car. And wait a minute, is that the guy?
The black guy that was on Gaia. That's him.
I was exposed to so much that weekend. It was such a beautiful experience. I don't remember everything. I just remember the how I felt after that weekend. I felt like I could take on the world. I felt relieved. I felt relaxed. I felt happy.
Yes.
Really,
that's bliss.
yes, I felt really happy. And I was like, wow, this is something like amazing. So before I start the timer, or do you want me to start the timer as you do your grounding? Because I'm going to follow you with grounding and make because just let me know when the actual 1 second. I'm going to set my timer. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to set my timer for 7 minutes. And you know, for the purpose of this session, it's only 7 minutes. You know what I mean? But trust and believe. Hey, look, if you said an hour, we're going to do an hour. But for the purpose of this session that we're having and you sharing this beautiful, useful, fruitable information with women, I'm just going to do a 7 minute. And I know even in that short, because it might seem like a long time to someone who isn't practice at this, because it is going to seem like a long time for me, but I'm here for it. So tell me when you want me to set the clock, and then I'm going to follow your lead on grounding and whatever else it is you do.
Well, first we're going to ground with taking some deep breaths in 4, out 4, again, again, again. And then we can start, and I'm going to start with the grounding. Okay. And what I mean by the grounding, I'm going to start with the root chakra sounding.
We can't hear on our end. I can't hear on my end yet.
Are you able to hear it now?
Do you think it's because of your ear pods, maybe?
No, I have you live.
Okay.
Can you hear now?
I'm not hearing anything. Tell me what should I be hearing?
You should be hearing um like a bong.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not hearing any. I'm hearing you talk very plainly, but when I know when you were going around the bowl, I wasn't hearing. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything, Janyetta.
Wow, I'm sorry because it's real
Now,
loud.
and look, when you stopped, then I hear it.
Then you hear.
And yes, when you're in motion, I don't hear anything, and then when you stop, I hear.
Okay, well I'll do this one.
Now I should be hearing something, right? I'm not hearing anything.
Wow, it's like
Wow. Such a sacred sound. It doesn't want to, it doesn't want to, it says, no, you need to eat it.
girl, I'm over here better, baby.
Man, I just, oh my gosh. Um, yeah, nothing. Wow, nothing at all. So do you think maybe, because for some reason it's not the sound
It's not.
transferring. And I heard the bong like one time when you stop, but then after that, nothing. So do you think maybe you want to use your vocals or anything you might have in the background, like if you have it
Um,
playing?
yeah, just a minute. I have a
Give us grace, y'all. Give us grace. We want y'all. Like I'm
Wait a
telling
minute.
you, give us grace, y'all. Give us
I
grace. She gonna get this thing popping, and it's so beneficial. It's so very beneficial. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's our equipment with the sound. Is it transferring? But I've had the benefit of experiencing sound therapy, and maybe it's just our equipment. But we're gonna figure something out.
just a minute.
Okay. Yes, as Miss Janyetta walks away, these are the moments, and she's going to get us something, ladies. She's definitely going to get us something and offer us some sound therapy on this session, and I'm so excited about it. And give us grace as our equipment is is not the top notch, I guess, and it's not picking up these beautiful healing and therapeutic sounds. And I really wanted to share, as well as Lady J, that form of sound therapy, but that particular form is not working. So just give us grace as she brings us something else to the table. Yeah. And just for non-believers, like or skeptics, or people who are open to hearing about things that are therapeutic. I'm talking about simple things that we take for granted. Just taking a nice walk. Get up, go outside. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to put on the best gym wear or whatever to go take a walk. Just throw on some comfortable walking shoes and some comfortable clothes and go for a walk. And the therapeutic value of just going for a walk is so amazing. It, as she said, it what is it, raise the endorphins? Is that what you call it? Or is it
Yes, raising the endorphins.
Okay. And so I know for a fact, whenever I used to work out, I had so much energy. I felt better, and I was happier when I had more physical activity. So we as the individual have to be open to discovery so that we can find the therapeutic things that actually work for us. Because while taking a long stroll might not be possible for some, listening to healing vibrations and sound is therapeutic, you know. So we don't want to dismiss anything that can add value to our lives and be therapeutic. Were you going to try a new bowl with this, Lady J?
Yes, I'm gonna try to, maybe if I can it's still not coming through.
That is odd because I don't know.
Because that when I tell you the sound is so loud, like on the outside of the studio, I have to put a sound on, a sign that let them know that I'm going to be doing this, because they can hear it through the whole building.
Wow. So quick question, your phone, is this the speaker is on the bottom, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do me a favor. Right.
Okay.
Put your speaker towards, actually face it toward the bowl, and let's see if that changes.
Okay.
Let me know when you're actually doing it so that I can tell you if I hear anything.
Okay, I'm about to do it now.
Okay. And unfortunately, that isn't working either. I don't know what to say.
I don't.
I
But,
still, you know, I see the balls, I see the tools. I don't know what.
and the thing of it is, I have 7 crystal bowls here.
And when you talk, I can hear a sort of echo from the bowls.
Yeah, because I'm right.
Right there, I can hear that.
Yeah, I'm
so
so. What I can do though is I can record a piece for you,
okay,
and I can send you that piece.
okay. That would be awesome. And what I would do is I would put that on our and make a link for it so that people can experience that. So as long
So
as
they can have that.
I can, and I'm gonna learn. Look, I'm gonna learn today because I'm gonna figure out how to make a link out of that sound. So, and I'll make it available for, you know, a period of time, because it's
Because I want them to have it. I want them
yes,
to have it.
yes,
Because even when someone is feeling some sort of way, because the thing about it is with the sound healing, it's a therapeutic practice, and it uses sound frequencies.
yes.
And the sound frequencies of these crystal bowls is 432 hertz.
Okay.
That's the sound that God comes in. And when I tell you it opens up, it can open up a portal for you to be at one. It gives you a sense of peace. When women come here and they get vagisteams, some of them, they want sound therapy while they're doing it. So the way they can have a certain feeling or whatever they're going through, or whatever. But I'm willing to do that.
And look, I appreciate that you're willing to do that. And as soon as you give it to me, I'm gonna figure out how to make it a link, and I'm gonna give it to the listener, because I want people to know that this is real, that it works, and it is worth doing. Because who really deep down inside want to be sad and not living at their best? And we have become, due to the social medias and the celebrity lifestyle, we have become to believe that if we can't be rich and famous, then we can't be at our best.
And that's ridiculous.
For the financially poor, just as it is for the financially wealthy.
Yes.
And without a healthy mental state, you are poor. And I don't care what you have materialistically.
That is the truth. Yeah.
You are a pauper in my eyes if you don't have a healthy mental state. Because at the end of the day, if you are walking around in distress all the time, and it could be of no fault of your own until you get information to change that, you have the power to choose to stay there or get out of it. I am choosing daily. I am practicing to make that choice. It did not come easy. It is not easy. Yesterday was a rough day for me. It was Mother's Day. Put on all these emotions where I had to shut down.
Yeah.
I had to put my cell phone off because I'm seeing all these people being celebrated and people being taken out to dinners and people being brought flowers. And it lit my day up that my grandson's father thought to go because he knows I love orchids. And he brought my grandsons over and presented me with orchids. And it really lit my it touched me, and I was so thankful for that, and they don't know why they're doing it. They just know, happy Mother's Day, Grandma. Hey, can I write my life? But it gave me something because I wasn't feeling celebrated as a mother, and I wasn't feeling honored as a mother. And then, I was talking to Dave earlier, and I was like, at one point I just got so low that I was like, okay, universe, yeah, this is my punishment for not wanting children, and I had to get out of that. I had to go through it and realize that it was not fruitable. It was a pity party and so when I got in the shower this morning, I said, you know what? I went to sleep before I went to sleep last night. I said, it's okay that you felt like this. Because see, sometimes we'll feel like something and then we'll become ashamed. It's okay that you felt like this, but you're okay.
Yeah.
This is no punishment.
Yeah.
And I spent the day alone outside of the visit that I had with my grandchildren. I spent my daughter did call and say happy Mother's Day. And I was happy that she was being celebrated by her partner. He took out a boat ride out and they rode the back. My son did call me, but he called me when I was asleep. So at least my children did call, but I would have really have liked to have been taken out to a dinner or really been around my family.
Yeah.
I would have liked that. And it did cause me some, to feel a little sad.
And you know what? Yesterday was hard for me.
Yeah.
It was hard for me too. It was, with my mom not being here. And then I'm a dance mom.
Right.
I was at a dance competition.
Right.
At Harvard Community College. And you talk about hundreds of people, and I'm seeing my daughter up on stage twirling and dancing, and I got one phone call from my one daughter, my middle daughter, but I didn't get a phone call from my oldest daughter.
Right.
So I felt some kind of way too.
Right. Yeah. And as a mom, because that was actually our topic for Mother's Day. It was Mother's Day and mental health, how you really can't mention one without the other.
You can't.
Or the title of mother. Because as a mother, and I'm not just talking about people who have given birth or adopted.
No.
You have people who have mothered, children who never adopted or never gave birth, through the vaginal canal.
Yes.
So I'm talking about, this brings up mental health is so important for the mother because of our role in the lives of everyone around us. And so before we wrap it up tonight, I just want to say to our listeners, give us grace as we learn. This is free programming. We are, and this does not speak to Lady J's business. She runs a wonderful professional business, which she's going to tell you where you can find at before we get off of this call tonight. This does not speak to her ability. It did not ours. We do not have a production team on the Primrose Avenue podcast. Me and Chanel, we be minute to minute, and I know y'all, if they've listened, they've heard the little snags and the doodles, but we are working on it and we are working out. And even though Miss Lady J was unable to produce that beautiful therapeutic sound during this recording, she has committed to sending me a recording to make available to my listening audience, our listening audience, and she even gave you what to do to ground yourself before you listen to this sound. So I'll put that when I figure out how to make a link or whatever for it. And prayerfully it'll be, and because this is something that she is doing in her, of her own, just out of the kindness of our heart and our passion for Reiki healing, I pray that it will be given before this episode airs on Sunday. But if it does not, it will be available eventually for our listeners.
Oh, it will. You will definitely, because
Yes.
as soon as we're done, I'm
Okay.
already sitting here.
Awesome. Right.
Gonna record that. I'm already in the mode.
Yeah, you say you already down, right?
Yeah.
And I know
Sure.
it's beneficial to me. And I know, we've been, I know we've been a little long tonight, but I had a special guest, y'all, so bear with us. Miss Janyetta of J Spa, creators, founders, owner of J Spa. Before we get up out here tonight, I would is there anything before you tell them where to find you and find your business, find your socials and where to find your business? Is there a nugget else? Because you've given us a lot of nuggets. Is there anything specifically that you'd like to share with our listeners?
I do. A lot of people have questions about Reiki and sound therapy, and the one question that I get a lot that makes them on the fence about it: does it have anything to do with religion? Right. No.
Okay. Awesome.
No, it doesn't.
Now, look, you can practice Reiki. Look, you can practice Reiki religiously, but this is not a religion, right?
This is not.
For me, and when people start because I've been Muslim, I've been Christian, and it's like I was raised in a Catholic household, and all of these things, all of these religions had caused me to really just turn away from even spirituality, because I didn't understand that you can separate getting tongue tied, spirituality from religion. And I'm so thankful to have that knowledge. So yes,
this is not religion.
Right.
This is healing. This is soul purpose.
Yes.
This is what this is.
And that's really, really good. So thank you for clarifying that. Thank you for offering that up, because again, I know that there is major benefit from Reiki healing. I can see it in you, from a woman to have had 3 strokes. Yep. And not walking around here on no daggone cane. Your face, I'm only describing what I see. Yep. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody, but your face not lopsided. You're gorgeous. You walk on your own. You're healthy. You're in your right state of mind. So, y'all, we got to start opening our mind and stop going by because the Bible and all that stuff that grandma used to throw at us, we got to be open.
And right. And be open to be whole, a whole person.
Exactly.
Being whole. And these different holistic modalities help me in my healing process, even my grief, with loss. Yes. So I'm talking about with the Reiki and the sound healing therapy has helped me heal mentally, physically, emotionally,
important,
and financially. Because now I don't think of lack.
Right. Say that again, please. Because
I don't think of lack.
And when you are not breathing and you are not healthy mentally, that's all you think about.
Is lack.
All you think about is what you don't have, as opposed to being grateful for what you do. And you said it earlier, breath is life. If you are breathing, even somebody say, I'm on my their last breath. We take every breath for granted when we don't
do it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You come in with breath. Mm-hmm. You leave with breath. That's it.
And even in the Bible, hold on, was it Bible? No, it was the word. They said he spoke the word, but it's something that's historic that it was like, and he breathed life into it or something like that. And I can't remember. I remember a lot of stuff, but sometimes I can't remember where, it might have come from. But you are so right. We come in with, because what are they waiting for us when they spank us? They want us to breathe.
Waiting for a breath.
It's not, they don't want us to cry. They want us to breathe. Now they cry because they get the spanking. You know what I mean? But that's when they know, they're waiting for that. They take a real big, you know what I mean? They take into their belly and then they let it out and all that sound comes out with it. So, that is so important. And before we wrap it up and you let them know your socials and where your business can be found, I just want to say thank you so much for gracing the Primrose Avenue podcast with your presence, with your information, with your energy, with your spirit, with your healing. When I look into you, sometimes you can look at somebody and be like, they just seem lost in there. I see nothing but vitality and life in your eyes. And that inspires and encourages me to want to practice, these therapeutic veins, or as you call them, modalities, to be because I can't say I want to be the best version of myself without exploring all my options.
That's right.
We're so used to limiting ourselves based on our financial status, and in thinking in lack, that we think in lack, period. Yep. And that just, see, people think it's only financial. No, well, you think in lack, period. I can only go to that doctor to get healed. No, baby, you can take a walk for therapy. You know what I'm saying? So it's so fun, and I'm so thankful to be exposed to the different, and I learned, that was the first time I heard the word when Miss J used it, modalities of therapy and healing that I want to expose to our listeners, and I'm so thankful for it. So before we wrap it up, Lady J, tell them where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at J Spa and Wellness Center. You can go on there, J Spa and Wellness Center, just like that. My website, J Spa Wellness Center. Nothing extra, J Spa Wellness Center. I can be reached, just the letter J.
All right, J Spa.
And my number is 443-442-6262. That's the business number.
Book an appointment for, she's an esthetician, she's a Reiki healer, she does sound therapy. Call her, book your appointment, get that detox foot bath. You even offer the
yoni steaming.
The yoni steaming, as well as what's the thing, the flattening the tummy.
Oh yeah, I do body contouring. Full body contouring.
Yes.
We do cool sculpting. We do the M Sculpt Neo. We do the wood therapy, the laser lipo. Mm-hmm. So all the latest technology we have.
Oh man, and I'm telling you, book your appointment. You go on the website, and again, Lady J is going to bless us with a recording that I'm going to figure out how to make it a link and all that good kind of stuff. Give me grace, y'all. I'm figuring this.
It's gonna get done. It's gonna get done. You got this.
And so I appreciate y'all for listening. I am your girl Primrose here on Primrose Ave, and you can find me on Instagram, PRIMROZE_AVE. You can find me on Facebook. Same name. Everything leads down is on Primrose Ave. PRIMROZE space. You gotta put a space and then AVE. That's on Facebook. My co-host, Michelle Richardson, who's not here tonight, you can find her on Instagram _MICHELLEGRACIE, and on Facebook, is Michelle Richardson, MICHELLE Richardson, RICHAR Richard DSON Richardson. And you can find us on YouTube on the Primrose Avenue, and that avenue is abbreviated to AVE, that PRIMROZE Ave on YouTube, and Primrose Avenue, and Primrose Ave Pod, PRIMROZE AVEPOD on Instagram. That's where you can find us. We want to thank you so much for listening. I want to give a big old round of applause and thank you, and some virtual hugs to my girl Lady J for blessing us with all that tonight. Thank you guys for listening. We hope to see you back soon.
Bye-bye.